The gold price, the silver price, and the oil prices are all looking very volatile in the short term as we get some more breaking updates about why the oil price refuses to go down, why this is a huge risk for the US economy and also the global economy. And the latest updates coming out from Iran, and they do have some pretty interesting things they're saying. These have just dropped today. We'll break that down. We also have some other crazy things happening in the world about oil, food, and also something crazy happening in Washington, D.C. So we're going to talk about all of this in today's video, some interesting theories getting dropped about this. And we have to cover it because this is the breaking news that is also, to some degree impacting the financial market. So if you guys enjoy it, like the video, comment down below what you think of today's video, and let's get straight into this one. So let's just get into the big breaking story that happened just recently, and that is in Washington, D.C. You can see this video clip right here, crazy stuff, as the US president, also the vice president, getting immediately pulled into a safer area of this dinner as a shooter attempted to take out President Trump. So people are also saying there's some interesting things happening with this video. In particular, JD Vance was actually moved first before President Trump. So you can see the second angle of this clip as the shooting unfolds and gunshots get shot. JD Vance actually gets moved first right here. He gets pulled off the stage first. Trump is still sitting over here somewhere, and then he gets moved second. So people are scratching their head saying, why did it take so long for Trump to get off the stage? And comment down below what your theory is on this. But it does seem, obviously, a huge amount of chaos and pandemonium. And to even throw more things into the mix, if that's not, crazy enough as it is, and we've seen similar things play out previously, check out this. So the shooter ends up being this guy. His name is Cole Allen, right? And for some reason, this has got viewed 37 million times, this next bit, which I'll show you right here. This is from a cryptocurrency called Pepe. If you're not familiar with it, I like my Pepe. And you guys can see right here, time travel Pepe. And this person has dropped the name Cole Allen back in 2023. And people are trying to connect the dots right here, why this is being posted. But you can see actually 38 million times right now. And some people are saying, how did this person know? What's the connection right here? Why did they post these exact words back on, December 22nd, 2023? So a little bit of spooky pasta coming into today's video right there. And the other thing, that is people are scratching their heads on is this guy actually dropped in, I think, one of his writings. People have picked up on this. He was expecting a lot more security there. And he goes on to say this. He said, I expected security cameras at every bend. So this guy was staying in the hotel, by the way. Bugged hotel rooms, armed agents every 10 feet, metal detectors out of the wazoo. What I got is nothing. No damn security, not in transport, not in hotel, not in the event. So that is how he was able to just, attempt to run through. He did get shot, though. That's my understanding. No one else was killed, as far as I know. No one has been killed during this event. But again, raising more questions. And then he actually wrote a bit of a manifesto that has been posted over on X. You can see it right here. This has got 5.2 million views coming out of BNO News. And I won't read the whole thing. Look, if you want to pause the video and read it yourself, you can. They're the two screenshots that have been posted. So you got all the full information should you wish to go into it in detail. But I just want to read out one key sentence right here. And he does say this. This is his words, okay? He goes down the bottom. He says, and I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. So right there is hinting towards some of his motivations, what he actually believes about the president. They are his words. So you guys have the full perspective of, what he's writing. But you can actually read the whole thing if you want. Now, given that chaos that is happening, look, there's still more chaos, particularly around the Middle East, that is happening right now. This is playing a role into the gold, silver, financial markets right now because they are looking quite volatile. You can see right here, Brent refusing to dip, right? The the oil price is going up. It's $100. It's not dipping, right? And we are getting to something important soon, particularly in the USA, particularly in the Northern Hemisphere, because you guys know the weather's getting better. People want to go on holidays. Oil prices are going up. Gallibaf has something to tell us about that soon. But you can also see right here, US oil, $95, not dropping. And if you actually look, wind back the clock, look how much higher this is And this is just a testament to how bad things have got. So this used to be like 57 bucks. Brent used to be like, what, 60 bucks? So, you know, it's very, very volatile. And the Iranians, the key understanding today, in today's update, is nothing is really getting achieved between Trump and the Iranians and the Middle East at the moment. So, yes, we do know there is some type of, you know, mixed ceasefire. There is some type of mixed blockade. And it's not really working in the world's favor right now. So no one's really, I wouldn't say anyone's really benefiting from this conflict. Everyone's kind of losing because at the same time, look, food inflation is going up, right? You're going to know this, right? Diesel prices are going up. Farmers need diesel. Food's going up. You're going to have to pay this tax. This is like a hidden tax we're all paying right now for steak, groceries, you know, vegetables, all that important stuff. That's going to be going up. And no one's winning. There's no negotiations that are really ongoing right now. The situation doesn't look even closer to getting resolved. And you can actually see right here, the Iranians are starting to, you know, they're saying we can deal with a blockade at the moment, right? They're just sitting tight. And what they are saying is, Galibaf is saying right here, they brag about the cards. Let's see, supply cards equals demand cards. SOH partly played plus BEM unplayed plus pipelines. Unplayed equals inverse release played plus demand destruction partly played plus more price adjustment to come. Add summer vacation to the right unless they want to cancel it for the US. So Galibaf is hinting that you know, people in the US, if you want to go for a holiday, you want to do a nice trip to Yellowstone Park. I've been to Yellowstone Park, nice place. Recommend visiting. I've driven across the US and Canada. And it's a great thing to do. Look, it's a beautiful country to see. I loved it personally. And he's saying right here, though, fuel prices are basically going up. So diesel, fuel, oil, you guys know it. And I asked Grok to explain it more simply. And he's kind of put it in here. And he said the Iranian parliament speaker is using a card game metaphor for the global oil market battle between supply and demand levers that affect the prices. They, US, Western policymakers, brag about their moves, but he says the cards balance out. Supply side on the left, SOH partly used plus BM plus pipeline still unused equals demand side on the right, inventories already released plus some demand already crushed, plus more price tweaks coming. And then you're going to add in the summer driving season in the Northern Hemisphere to the right side, unless they want to kill the US vacations too. And it's his way of saying producers still hold strong cards to counter price crushing tactics. And we have seen a bit of that as well. So look, when we've been analyzing these prices, we have seen, look, in the short term, Trump coming out quite often with, you know, manipulative tweets and different actions to actually suppress the oil price. But what you can see, it's not really working, right? So look at this oil price for Brent. Yes, it has been suppressed a couple of times, but at the moment it's sitting at $100, right? This goes any higher, you're going to be looking at some pretty nasty prices. You're going to be looking at 105. You know, if it breaks 108, that's a pretty nasty zone for oil. That was like, you know, roughly the previous resistance level / all-time high, kind of. But the all-time high was about $113 fully, but it only spiked up there temporarily. But, you know, this is bad, right? This is not good. And it's not good for the global economy, and it's just a factor the world has to withstand this global choke out of the Strait of Hormuz. And this is, you know, bad for economic growth. It's bad for agriculture. It's bad for a lot of things. And that fear, it's kind of bleeding into the market a bit. So you can see right here, silver, which you guys know, we love silver on this channel. We love gold. We love precious metals. We love commodities. We love copper. You know, it's getting a bit spooked out, right? It's getting a bit sick of the situation. He's feeling unwell, the silver price, right? Because he doesn't like it when the economy gets too sick. And that's what we're seeing. Silver is a great asset to hold. I would say it performs very well in a pumping inflationary economy, which is typically what we've seen recently. And you guys know these governments, they love to debase currencies. They love to print out lots of money. So I think, you know, silver, we'll see how it goes. Holding on to $75 at the moment. There's a lot of support around $75, so it is important it does hold that. You don't really want to see silver go too far below that, but we know, look, silver did get a dip down to $60 recently, but it's been, you know, holding on relatively good. and the rest of the assets are going to be kind of pairing up as well. So gold, pushing down to 4,700. You're going to see copper, holding on pretty good though, because this is a very high demand asset right now. And something that is surprising a lot of people out there is, can it be trusted, guys? Can the pump on Bitcoin be trusted? Up to $79,000. So risk is coming into Bitcoin, at least in the short term. I'd love to see that appreciate too. But that is something we need to factor into. And S&P 500, look, where does all the money printing go as well? Guys, it goes into the S&P 500. That's where we have seen big gains. Look at the price growth on this, insane. But there's risk involved in the S&P 500 as well. There's a lot of AI technology stocks in the S&P 500. And, that's prone to risk and movements too. So, look, that is today's update. Look, crazy stuff happening in Washington, D.C. I'd say almost like another day there with that. And, look, crazy stuff. We're just going to have to see how this plays out between the U.S. and Iran. Honestly, what do I want? I want to see a resolution. I want to see the oil flow again. I'd like to see more peace, that important stuff. And that's really going to, boost up the global economy and boost up the silver gold price and lots of other asset prices too. But that is today's update, guys. You got value out of it, like it. Guys, comment down below what you thought of today's video. Appreciate you tuning in. Go have a great rest of today, and I'll see you in the next one.